By now in your college career, most of you have taken a psychology course, and if you haven't, I would recommend doing so. And if you have, you've probably heard of Pavlov the scientist and his experiments with classical conditioning. So he would take dogs and place them in rooms and ring a bell and then give them food, and after a while they learn to associate the sound of the bell with food. And so we can apply that methodology to clicker training. And so clicker training is a positive reinforcement methodology that focuses on reward-based instead of punishment. So according to the American Society for the Protection of Cruelty to Animals, there's 3 different types of clicker training. There's luring, which is using a reward to guide the dog into the behavior that you want to see in them. There's also catching, which is when you catch your animal doing the desired behavior and rewarding them for it. And then there's shaping, which is building on a new behavior and a series of steps. So no matter what type of clicker training you are going to use, there's 4 basic steps to get the desired behavior. The first would be to introduce the dog to the action you want. So if you want them to sit, push slightly on their hind quarters and show them that's what you want, click and treat. The second would be to shape the behavior. So we're not trying to trick the dog, we're not trying to get them to read our minds, we want them to learn from what we're asking of them. So you step back and then you're letting the dog do the desired behavior naturally, clicking and treating. You're also, during this process, reducing the number of times that you're clicking and treating until the dog is performing the behavior on their own. And then finally, adding a command. So if you're teaching the dog sit after they've successfully mastered the behavior you want from them, every time they perform the behavior, instead of clicking, add the command or the cue. You want to keep the command simple to start, and you don't want to introduce multiple commands at once as to confuse the animal. And then finally, reinforce. Like any skill, with animals or humans, practice makes perfect. When I was in high school, I used to train service dogs, and it actually would take me up 2 to 3 years to train the dog over 50 commands. The type of dogs that I trained, they were helping people with mobility issues so they could pick up things, open and close doors. And so I didn't want to become a visual aid legend, and I decided not to bring the dog I'm currently training. But I do have a 1-minute video showing the process in case any of this is a little bit confusing. So her name is Ellie, and in the video I'm actually training her to become a diabetic alert dog. Dogs can naturally sense when a person is dropping in blood sugar or when a person is peaking in blood sugar. One of the previous dogs I trained actually alerted his handler in the middle of the night and subsequently saved her life from going in before she went into a diabetic coma. And so in the video, I'm first going to introduce Ellie to the scent, and when she picks up on it, I click and give her a treat. And then I hide the scent. It's in a little pill bottle. So she has to actively look for the scent. And then finally, when she finds the scent, I don't click at that moment, and I wait for her to come to me and nudge me or touch me to let me know that she knows that she found the scent. She's far along in her training, but it's still preliminary, so the video is sort of rough. At the very end, I introduce a person holding the scent, so there's a different scent, a different body chemistry than just the chair. So then I go ahead and hide it. She's already picked up the scent, so it'd be kind of redundant to practice that with her.
I did.
During the course of training her, she actually has been doing this unique thing where every time she finds it, she sits. So that's hopefully going to become, when she gets placed with her new handler, that's going to become her way of alerting them to a dangerous drop in blood pressure. So that's why she's sitting on the couch. So here she finds the scent. Instead of clicking, I make her come to me.
I did it. Good girl. Good girl.
And so one of the big things with clicker training is that you practice the skill over and over and over, which is another reason I didn't bring the dog in, because the process does take quite a bit of time. And so clicker training, it's not solely about like fixing a problem or teaching a dog command. It's about working in conjunction with the animal to strengthen the bond that you two have, and creating a desire in your dog to like be motivated to work with you. So if ever you find yourself in a situation where you're needing to train a dog and you feel that you can't do it, just remember that the solution is one click away.